जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजना बल्लभ गिरिभरधारी गोपीजना बल्लभ गिरिभरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जना रंजना यशोदानंदन ब्रज जना रंजना जमुना तीरा वनचारी जमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव माधव श्री राधे जय राधा माधव माधव श्री राधे जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशत शिष्यमाधि सेवाइन ग्रेस ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशत शिष्यमाधि सेवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज शिला प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ISKCON फाउंडर आचार्य शिला प्रभुपाद की Grantara Shimam Bhagavatam ki. Itai Gaura Premanandi. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to Shishiguru and Shikoranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, the Summum Bonum, Chapter 23, the Brahmana's wife blessed, text number 33 and 34. Text number 33. Sravanat darshanat dhyanam maji bhavo nukirtanat natata sanikarshena pratijatato griham. Translation. By hearing about me, seeing my deity form, meditating upon me, and chanting my names and glories, that love for me develops, not by physical proximity. Therefore, please go back to your homes. And text number 34. Sri Sukha Uvacha Ityukta Dvija Patnyasta Jagyavatam Punargata Te Chana Sujavasthavi Stribhi Shatrang Aparajam. Sri Sukha Uvacha Ityukta Dvija Patnyasta Jagyavatam Punargata Te Chana Sujavastabhi Stribhi Shatrang Aparajam. Sri Sukha Uvacha Ityukta Dvija Patnastya Jagyavatam Punargata Te Chana Sujavasthabhi Stribhi Satrang Aparajam. Please chant. Sri Sukha Uvacha. Sri Sukadev Goswami said, Iti, with these words, Uktaha, spoken to, Dvijapatnyaha, the wives of the Brahmanas, taha te yajna batam, to the place of sacrifice, punaha, again, gatha, went, te, they, their husbands, cha, an, anasu yavaha, not inimical, tabhi, together with them, stribihi, their wives, satram, the sacrificial performance, aparayam, they completed. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Sukadev Goswami said, those instructed the wives of the Brahmanas returned to the place of sacrifice. The Brahmanas did not find any fault with their wives, and together with them, they finished the sacrifice. Purport. The wives of the Brahmanas obeyed Lord Krishna's order and returned to the sacrificial arena of their husband, whereas the gopis, although ordered by Krishna to go home, remained in the forest to dance with him through the full moon night. Both the gopis and the Brahmanas' wives achieved pure love of Godhead. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Ummilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimate Ramapada Swami Iti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirveshesha Shunyavadi Pashatyade Shatarine. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So the wives of the Brahmanas obey Lord Krishna's orders and return to the sacrificial arena to their husbands. There is a very important understanding and also distinction that is made in terms of the different layers or positions of pure devotees of the Lord. There is this principle of simultaneously oneness and differences. So, from one perspective, there is no difference. From another perspective, there is differences. It is explained by the Acharyas that in the realm of pure devotional service, there is 3 classifications of perfected beings, or siddhas. There is the Nitya Siddha devotees, there is the Sadhana Siddhi devotees, and there are the Kripa Siddhi devotees. And the 3, there is a distinction between the 3 of them, but the 3 of them, when it comes to achieve prema and perfection, there is no differences. The Nitya Siddha devotees are those devotees who are eternal associates of the Lord, and they never become afflicted by illusion. They never fall down from their position. Examples of such Nitya Siddha devotees are Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, many of the cowherd boys associates of the Lord, like Sridham, Madhumangal, Subal, Arjuna, etc., etc. And some of the Nitya Siddha gopis, like the Ashtashakis, and some of the Manjaris, gopis. So there's devotees of the Lord that will never fall down. And sometimes they come to the material world as Shakti-avesh avatars, as descend for a particular purpose, to serve the mission of the Lord, to represent the Lord and serve the mission of the Lord. And we see that many of our Vaishnava acharyas in our line, from Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, all the way to Srila Prabhupada, also is not revealed Srila Prabhupada's Siddha Deha or his eternal position in the spiritual world, but up to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, they're all Manjaris. They're all Manjari gopis. Srila Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari. And like that, they all have this very intimate position. The eternal associate of the Lord, never fall down. And then there is the sadhana siddhi devotees, that they become perfected. They're great souls that fall under illusion, and they become perfected in Krishna consciousness by the practice, by a strong and determined practice of sadhana. So they perform very, very powerful sadhana. And by that strong, powerful practice, they become perfected. Some of the examples in the scriptures of these perfected beings through sadhana are Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Narada Muni, that we see in their stories that they were very, very settled in very strong the practices of sadhana that were given by them, by their spiritual master. In the case of Dhruva and Prahlad, Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj, and Narada Muni gave them their sadhana. In the case of Narada Muni, he received his sadhana from the Bhaktivedantas. So by a strong practice, they achieve perfection. And then there is the Kripa Siddha devotees who, without any particular endeavor, they receive mercy. Kripa means mercy. By the mercy of Guru and Krishna, or the association of a devotee, or Krishna himself, they receive this. The mercy, and by that mercy they become perfected. So not with a particular effort from themselves, just by association with a pure devotees or pure devotees, or Krishna himself. And Krishna gives examples of these devotees in his discussion with Uddhava. And the Yagyapatnyas, they're considered among Kripa Siddhas. So I'm going to read Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's and Srila Jiva Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami's commentaries also on these verses 33 and 34 to get some expanded understanding on these verses. In verse 33, which again translates like this, it is by hearing about me, seeing my deity form, meditating upon me, and chanting my names and glories that love for me develops, not by physical proximity. Therefore, please go back to your homes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments. Hearing Krishna's words, they understood his wish and they left. However, the gopis of the rasa dance, though understanding his words and desire, remain with Krishna. From this it is understood that in prema there is certainly never any loss. So, this is the understanding that regardless if you are in the position of Kripa Siddha or Nitya Siddha, when you achieve prema, prema in itself is prema. There is no difference. There's no loss in there. If it's through this path or through this path. There is a differentiation between the gopis, and it's a very important understanding, because to be able to enter, it highlights the most exalted position of the gopis of Vrindavan. So to be able to enter into that pastime, one have to acquire the mood of the gopis. And specifically, it explained that actually you have to acquire a body of a gopi to be able to enter like that. We hear in many places in the scriptures when Narada Muni wanted to experience that, he was taken into a lake, I think it was the Brahmakund, and he took bath there and then came out as a gopi. And he was able to be witness or enter into the pastime. We hear also that Lakshmi Devi was also attracted to these pastimes of, Rasa Lila and the pastimes of the gopis with Krishna, the sweetness of those pastimes. And she desired to experience it, but she was not allowed. Because, again, you have to have the body of a gopi, or not only the mood, the body, but also the bhava, the mood of the gopis. So, in her present body, in the body of Lakshmi Devi, she was not allowed. And then we have the sages of Dandakaranya forest, when they desire to associate with Lord Ramachandra in a conjugal mood, and Lord Ramachandra says that that's not possible. Once, because he is he made a vow to only have one wife in the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. So he says, in your next life, we can fulfill, that desire could be fulfilled. So they became in their next life gopis. So they assumed the form of a gopi. They also consider Kripa Siddhas, and we're going to touch on that. But they were part of the young gopis that we heard the narration of worshipping Katyayani to obtain Krishna as their husband. So, in the body, in the present bodies of the wives of the Brahmanas, it was not the appropriate body and the mood. So, just as the instruction that was given to the sages on Dandakaranya forest, they have to wait for the next life to assume, to receive the body of a gopi and being able to enter into that. However, through following or embracing Krishna's service and Krishna's instructions, and by that association that they have with Krishna and the previous association that they have with the different ladies of Vrindavan from the Gopi community, and hearing from them about the sweetness of Krishna's pastimes and that association, then they became perfected. So the path of perfection for them at the end will allow them to be in that ultimate position. So is considered perfect. There is example of the ripe mango and the the unripe and the ripe mango. It's a mango. It's just a different stage of ripeness. But it's a mango, it's perfect. So you can, prema or pure devotional service is pure devotional service. If it's unripe or it's ripe, it's still pure devotional service. That's an example that is given by the acharyas. In text number 34, which reads, Srila Sukadev Goswami thus instructed the wife of the Brahmanas returned to the place of sacrifice. The Brahmanas did not find any fault with their wives, and together with them, they finished the sacrifice. Srila Vaishnava Chakravarti Thakur comments, at the sacrificial arena, Tatra, there was one Brahmana lady situated at the back, who was forcibly held by her husband. She gave up her body produced by material karma, not her body filled with prema. She embraced Krishna with the body filled with prema, obtained by a strong desire in separation. Unseen by others, she assumed her spiritual body and quickly left that place to meet Krishna. Having given up husband and other objects of attachment, it is surprising that someone also give up the material body to meet Krishna. Sorry, it's a question. I'll read it again. Having given up husband and other objects of attachment, is it surprising that someone also give up the material body to meet Krishna? In order to show the strength of prema, the Lord's mercy made her give up the material body at that time, at the time of meeting Krishna, and receive a spiritual body of prema. So that is the ultimate result of Krishna's mercy. One receive a body, a spiritual body of prema. So when you receive a spiritual body of prema, it's a spiritual body of prema. How you get there, if it's this way or that way, any of these three different perfected beings, they will receive. Like a touchstone, this action transformed the other wives' material bodies into spiritual bodies as well. Thus, from that date onward, they did not associate intimately with their husbands. What is not possible for Krishna, Kripa Shakti? One cannot say whether the one Brahmana lady was superior in her bhakti to the others or not, since there is no indication given in the scriptures. But in any case, all became perfected by the mercy of Krishna. That is clear. There is a saying, Kripasida Jagyapanti Bhairochani Shukadaya. The wives of the Brahmana, Bali Maharaj, Sukadev, and others are all Kripasidas. Srila Jiva Goswami comments, the Brahmanas completed the sacrifice with their wives, who have received the mercy of the Lord because the Lord disregarded the immediate request. The fault in the sacrifice was removed and became endowed with all good qualities. Instead of tabi, sometimes swabi is found. The Brahmanas, with each of their wives, individually completed the sacrifice. Tabi means that they perform the sacrifice together with their husbands, or the husband with their wives. And swabi means that they individually, that the Brahmanas with each of their wives individually completed, so it's a similar terms. Sanatana Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami comments, the Brahmanas completed the sacrifice with their wife who had received the mercy of the Lord. The fault in the sacrifice was removed and become endowed with all good qualities. Instead of tabi, sometimes swabi is found. The Brahmanas with each of their wives individually completed the sacrifice. Without their wives, the sacrifice could not be completed. By the mercy of the Lord's words, or by the influence of their returning with the Lord's mercy, they did not find any fault with them. So, the principle of Kripa Siddha is a very important concept or understanding, something to understand, of both of these, sadhana siddha and kripa siddha. We are, the process that is given to us is sadhana bhakti. And what we follow is this process of obtaining perfection through the practice of sadhana. And Krishna gave us the assurance that through the practice of sadhana, sometimes, even if we don't complete, He can bestow His mercy. But it is important to understand that this Kripa Siddha is very rare. It's not something that is automatic, that we can sort of, okay, I don't have to endeavor so much because Krishna's mercy, will be there. So the idea, although the Lord gives promises, like that, Tatenu Kampan verse in which it said that just simply by remaining engaged in your devotional service consistently, one is assured to receive Krishna's mercy. It becomes one's right, not only, so it's assured. Nevertheless, the acharyas guide us to never consider ourselves to be qualified or to be deserving of Krishna's mercy. That in one sense, we see ourselves unqualified and therefore have to endeavor very strongly to obtain Krishna's mercy. And that in itself becomes a qualification. So, the mercy is received through the association of devotees and association of the Lord. And like I said, Krishna explains that very nicely in his discussion with Uddhava. He says, these verses, this is in the 12th chapter, text 3 to 7, he discusses this point of Kripa-siddha devotees. In every yuga, many living entities entangled in the modes of passion and ignorance gain the association of my devotees. Thus, such living entities as Daityas, Rakshasas, birds, beasts, Gandharvas, Apsaras, Nagas, Siddhas, Charana, Guhyakas, and Vidyadharas, as well as such lower class human beings as the Vaishyas, Sudras, women, and others, were able to achieve my supreme abode. Vitrasura, Prahlad Maharaj, and others like them also achieved my abode by association with my devotees, as did personalities such as Vrishaparva, Bali Maharaj, Banasura, Maya, Vibhishan, Sugriva, Hanuman, Jambavan, Gajendra, Jatayu, Tuladhara, Dharma Vyadha, Kubja, the gopis of Vrindavan, and the wives of the brahmanas who were performing sacrifice. The gopis of Vrindavan that I mentioned here are the gopis that in their previous lives were the sages of Danyakaranya. And then Lord Krishna says, the persons I have mentioned did not undergo serious studies of Vedic literature, nor did they worship great saintly persons, nor did they execute severe vows of austerities. Simply by association with me and my devotees, they achieve me. So, by the mercy of the devotees, then one receives this mercy. And basically, in the cases of most of us, we're the recipients of this kripa. Lord Chaitanya explains that, the very much quoted verse, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasadapai Bhakti Latabich. So by this mercy, Guru Kripa, then one receive this process of pure devotional service, the seed of pure devotional service. And by the association with devotees, we receive also the process of sadhana bhakti. So, although there was no desire nor qualification, we still recipients just by that mercy, the mercy of the devotees of the Lord, and especially in this age of Kali, comes from the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahavadanyaya. So, so by following the process, then given by the merciful devotees of the Lord, then we can come to perfection. And even if we don't achieve that perfection, there is that hope that the Lord will bestow His causeless mercy, and then we can also achieve entrance into those most intimate pastimes. We, as followers of Lord Chaitanya, we are given our identity, and our identity is within this mood, this Gopi Bhava. Gopi Bhartor Kamalayor, Dasa Dasa Anudas. So our identity is with servants of the servants of the servants of the servants of the Gopis of Vrindavan. And that's the benediction that we receive through the service of Lord Chaitanya, the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. We have the possibility, if we embrace and take full shelter on the process given by Srila Prabhupada and the Vaishnava Acharyas to perfect ourselves and have entrance into these wonderful pastimes in Vrindavan. Any comments or questions?
I was just appreciating the process that we've been given already, this process of sadhana bhakti that we're doing on a daily basis, of some form of a morning program, which would entail, well, it's so interesting, like, you know, how there's so many, for example, like they say in the Gurvashtakam, there's the ninth verse that we usually don't sing, but it says that, you know, someone that wakes up in the morning and chants this prayer during the Brahma Muhurta hour of the day will surely go back to Godhead. And then, you know, Srila Prabhupada said that, you know, someone who reads or chants one chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam will surely go back to Godhead. And, you know, then serving Tulsi in the morning and watering her, all these different things, and they kind of like give us this assurance of going back to Godhead. So, of course, there's this, you know, there's this feeling like that as one advances that we're not qualified. Like the more qualified we become, the less qualified we feel, that sort of thing. And so we keep on with this sadhana bhakti. But it's reassuring to know, because, you know, you hear about all these great souls, like even like Lord Shiva wanted to, you know, take part in the rasa dance, but even he wasn't able to until he, you know, got a particular body and all these. So there's all these qualifications. So it almost like, you know, it makes one feel like, all right, well, how can I achieve that? I'm so far away from the goal. How is it possible? But then when you consider this aspect of Krishna's mercy, this Kripa Siddha aspect, that there is that potential of there being some mercy bestowed upon, it's encouraging that there's like a potential light at the end of the tunnel as well. So.
Yes. You know, there has been discussion of the examples of these wives of the Brahmanas, how they developed this intense desire to associate with Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he says something, explains something like that. Let me look at it here. That one have to develop this very intense greed. Yeah. When one hears about the sweetness of their feelings and so forth, and desire for obtaining the same awakens in the consciousness without dependence on the scriptures and logic, this is a symptom of awakening of greed, of lobha. And then there's a little explanation. If upon hearing the sweetness of the feelings headed by passion of Sri Krishna's associates in Braja Lila, one thinks, quote, "Let me also attain such feelings," then at this time one need not depend either on the revealed scriptures or on a favorable logical consideration. If such dependence remains, it cannot be said that greed has appeared. Greed never arises in anyone because of scriptural considerations, and in anyone who is desirous to obtain the object of the greed. No considerations or qualifications or lack of qualifications arise. Rather, greed arises only by hearing about the object of the greed or by seeing it. So in other words, we have to come to the position of spontaneous devotion. So when we still that is not depending on philosophy or this understanding or that. It's just simple, the pure feeling of the desire just to be with Krishna, like that. So we have to endeavor for that, to come to that position. Of course, it's like, I don't know, how is it going to be possible? You know, so it's the hope against hope. But the whole key for us is to dedicate ourselves and to, endeavor with utsaya, nischarya, daryat, like Srila Rupa Goswami explained, with enthusiasm, with patience, and with faith that it will happen, hoping against hope, like that, in your process of sadhana. So it's indeed very, very wonderful, and there is no loss and diminution. The process is, again, it is pure devotional service. It's another thing that Srila Rupa Goswami says, that in our situation that is mixed, we're mixed with the mixed bhakti. Still, the process is pure devotional service. It's an unripe mango. It's pure devotional service. So if we hold to the process, the process is pure devotional service. So then it's a matter of just maturing. But it's a mango. It's pure devotional service, bhakti. So that's what we receive. Jai Baladev, keep the commentary tight and go to the question as succinctly.
Just to save your time, I don't have a question. So whatever time you're going to spend answering it, it's just an appreciation of the mothers in the scriptures.
Just keep it tight.
So I appreciated your point where you mentioned Never consider yourself qualified. And you were also mentioning we should be following the path of Gopi Bhav. And so we hear in the Nectar of Instruction that among the gopis, Radharani is the best. And among all the places in the universe, Radhakund is the best. But before we get to that point, the first verse of the Nectar of Instruction is Vacho Vegam, taming the tongue. And Prabhupada in his purport to the Gita, chapter 17, verse 15, he describes what taming the tongue means. He says one should not instruct somebody who has not accepted you as your teacher, your mentor, your advisor. And so the reason I appreciate that's because we see this is practical in life. A parent would never instruct a child who's not their child. Same with the doctor, same with the dog trainer, so many things. It's practical experience. And generally speaking, the tendency to try to instruct others indicates that we think we're more qualified than others. And we see that's the cause of all mishaps in relationships. And this is one reason I appreciated the wives of the Brahmanas, because in Bhagavatam it says, Samsiddhir Hari Toshana. If we please the Lord, Toshanam Hari Toshana means he removes your obstacles. If we please the Lord like the wives of the Brahmanas, then he removes your obstacles. He told the wives of the Brahmanas, go back to your husbands, your obstacles are removed. And so that's the one thing I appreciate about Krishna. As long as we allow Krishna to remove our obstacles, then we'll keep ourselves out of trouble. As long as we try to remove our own obstacles, we'll keep ourselves in a lot of trouble. Hiranyakashipu tried to remove his obstacle, Prahlad, first by criticizing him, insulting him, fault finding, and then he tried to kill him. So instead of removing his obstacles, he actually created more obstacles. So we see this in all relationships. When you try to criticize, fault find, instead of removing your obstacles, it actually causes more animosity. And so one last point I appreciate about what Krishna said. He told the Brahmanas within their hearts, my dear Brahmanas, you are in darkness. Your wives are in the light. And so the wives never told their husbands, my dear husbands, you're in darkness. We're in the light. Because if you think like that, that means you're in darkness. So there's a nice quote that says, we are told to let our light shine. And if it does, we won't need to tell anybody it does. Lighthouses don't fire cannons to call attention to their shining. They just shine. And that's why St. Francis says, preach the gospel always. And when necessary, use words. So that's one thing I appreciate about the wives of the Brahmanas. Their actions spoke louder than their words. And that's one lesson we could take, how to tame the tongue. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Garantara Shriman Bhagavatam ki jai.